I'm standing in my parents' kitchen, the one with the chipped blue tiles, while my mother's voice trembles in a way I've never heard before. "Family should stick together," she says, clutching her phone like it might save her. I don't sit, I don't smile, I just listen. This is the moment they finally understand I was never quiet because I was weak. The memory that keeps looping isn't this kitchen. It's a reception hall flooded with warm light, crystal glasses clinking, my brother at the center of it all. $60,000 of my parents' pride paid for every flower, every song. I stood near the back, wearing a suit I bought myself, listening to my father lean in and whisper, "Be honest, when are you going to be someone like your brother?" I didn't answer. I learned early that silence was safer. Growing up, my brother was the proof, the one they could point to, the one with trophies and applause. I was the shadow that followed, the afterthought. Still loved, they claimed, but never chosen. When I said I wanted to build software, my mother laughed softly like I'd told a joke without a punchline. "Be realistic," she said. I nodded. I always nodded. I trusted them. That's the part that still surprises me. The betrayal wasn't loud. It came in patterns. Missed calls returned with impatience. Family dinners canceled because my brother needed them. My ideas dismissed without hearing the end of a sentence. When I asked for a small loan to keep my startup alive, my father sighed like I was asking for a kidney. "We can't," he said. A week later, I saw the invoice for my brother's honeymoon. I didn't yell, I didn't cry. I went back to work. Control became my religion. I documented everything. Late nights, failed pitches, servers crashing at 3 a.m. while the city slept. I watched my inbox like a hawk. Every rejection taught me where not to stand again. Every doubt sharpened my focus. When my parents stopped calling altogether, I noticed. When they started asking questions again, I noticed more. That's when the shift happened. I stopped wanting their approval. I started wanting my freedom. I built in silence. No press, no announcements, no family updates. Just code, contracts, and patience. I learned how to listen without speaking, how to negotiate without revealing need. I hired people smarter than me and paid them well. I refused shortcuts that would have made noise too early. The company grew the way fires do when no one's watching. By the time my brother's marriage cracked under the weight of expectation and entitlement, my servers were handling millions of users a day. By the time my parents argued over medical bills and shrinking savings, I was closing a funding round that valued my company at $91 million. They found out by accident. An article, a name, my name. The calls started that night. At first, I didn't answer. I let the phone vibrate until it went quiet. There was a strange peace in that, the power of deciding when, not if, I would speak. When I finally agreed to meet, I chose their kitchen. Familiar ground makes people careless. My mother cried. My father talked numbers. They told me how proud they were, how they always believed. The words sounded rehearsed, like lines they'd wished they'd learned earlier. Then came the ask. "We're family," my father said. "We should stick together." I looked at the counter where they'd once spread wedding brochures for my brother, my ideas pushed aside to make room. I thought about every time I swallowed a response to keep the peace. I slid a folder across the table. Inside were documents, clear, legal, final, a trust, conditions, boundaries. "I'll help," I said, calm as still water, but not like before. They read in silence. Their faces changed line by line. No blank checks, no control, no rewriting history. Support, not dependence. Respect, not guilt. My brother called later, angry, confused, suddenly aware of a hierarchy he'd never questioned. I didn't argue. I didn't explain. I let the facts speak. They always do, eventually. Now I stand in that kitchen, present and untouchable. I didn't destroy them. I didn't need to. I built something they can't take credit for and can't take from me. The revenge wasn't loud. It was precise. I didn't become someone like my brother. I became someone they have to be honest with now. And that's enough.